Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The US Treasury Secretary Yellen landed in Beijing, in China, obviously to try to kiss the Chinese butt and try to improve the relations between the United States and China. Therefore, she went over there and not the Chinese came to the United States of America. And instead of coming over there and trying to be maybe a little bit more diplomatic or maybe a little bit more humble, since she came over there, it seems like she came over there as a conqueror and a person who, again, demands, or at least, calls China out. That's exactly what China doesn't need. But these guys, they are either idiots, they don't get it, or they're doing it because they want to push China in a certain kind of direction where China will have to react physically. So China, the Chinese diplomats, they know that Yellen does not represent the US Treasury. They know that Yellen represents something much bigger than the US Treasury. And she knows that too. I don't know if you have ever listened to Yellen speak. I don't even know how she wipes her ass after going to the toilet. I'm honest with you. I listened to her and I was like, and she is the Secretary of the US Treasury. What do you need to get there? To be dumb? To kiss ass? To belong to a certain group? What do you need to do? All of the above? I know. Let me show you this article coming from CBS News. U.S. Treasury Chief Janet Yellen pushes China over, and I'm quoting, punitive actions against American businesses. So she goes over there and she pushes China. First, those are not punitive, they're just sanctions. You see, United States imposes sanctions on any other country that doesn't stay in line. China doesn't stay in line. Russia does not, Iran, and many others. So they impose sanctions on others. But you know what? They don't like sanctions to be, pushed on their businesses or their interests. And when that happens, they usually send the military or start a little orange revolution over there, spontaneous, okay? In this case with China, I think the armed forces, they're still waiting for Taiwan issue to come to an end. So that's the last fight. A little regime change, I think, has been tried already. Blackmail and threats already checked and did not happen anything. Now they try with this one. You show up in this guy's house and you are going to press them or something. I'm not saying you should not negotiate. Of course you should. But first, you came over there with a tail between your legs and you're pressing China. Either these guys are lying or are overemphasizing something that never happened or something that happened but make it like this big, or I don't know, maybe they just want to alienate China even more because they are succeeding. So let's see what else Yellen told the Chinese. Beijing, the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen in Beijing for meeting with top Chinese officials and American companies that do business in the country, said the U.S. welcomes healthy economic competition with China. Healthy is when you don't hurt me, but I hurt you. That's what healthy means in this case. But only if it's fair. Oh my. Since when the United States speaks with someone in these kind of terms? Do you think the United States means it? Because if US means it, that means that China already won. If they don't mean it, which I don't think they don't mean it, they still think that they are the card dealers on this planet. Yellen also said she was concerned about new export controls announced by China on two critical minerals used in technologies like semiconductors. Hey, the semiconductors, aren't some companies saying, in the United States as well, that some companies could not do business with China and send them semiconductors, and China said, okay, we're not going to buy semiconductors from that company. Are you serious? Yes. And I'm quoting, we are still evaluating the impact of these actions. Maybe you should evaluate your behavior first and then the reactions of China, and maybe you understand what happened. She said, but they remind of the importance of diversified supply chains. And I'm quoting Yellen, I've been particularly troubled by punitive actions that have been taken against U.S. firms, end quote. She said, referring to raids carried out in the spring by police on 3 companies that the Chinese government, without offering any evidence, said were suspected of spying. So that's how it goes. But I wonder when the Americans do such a thing, that they provide any evidence, or they say it's top secret, or it's an ongoing investigation, or we found them with documents. They provide anything? It is hypocritical when you hear this coming from, I understand if you have someone who says, you know what, I'm a bad guy, and I would, break all the rules because I can, but you can't do that. And if you do that, I will smack you. Okay? I understand those guys. So you know what, this is a thug that really tells us is an honest thug. I'm going to smack you. I can break the rules, you can't. But this is even a different kind of thug. This is a rapist who asks the victim to pretend that she likes it. That's how I perceive all this. But on the other hand, I want to be fair. Fair means I can do it. You should not retaliate. I've been watching this for some time, and not only in regards to China, how United States does it. And yes, United States is the strongest country in the world, still good for it. But it can use force, it can use coercion, it can use these kind of things. But I don't like when they are still expected to be, put on the pedestal. And if you don't show enough enthusiasm, you are slapped with some sanctions and who knows what. Now this is even worse. I mean, at least say, man, I'm a thug and I do this and you do that. Clear. Give me the money. All right, thanks. Bye. Instead of saying, no. I deserve the money because I'm a good person. Okay? And I'm a good person and I deserve to have that money. And you're a bad person. What are you? A bad person. Okay, you got it now. Now hand me the money. Okay, all right. You got to smile too. All right, there you go. A big smile. All right, thank you very much. All right, nice doing business with you. All right, let's go. Now I don't like this kind of shit. I don't want to be aggressive, but at least recognize who you really are. No, he wants everybody to give a smile while bending over, taking their pants down and waiting. That's even worse. But hey, that's my interpretation of this. And remember, Yellen went over there to suck the Chinese bonbon. And all of a sudden she plays tough. And the Chinese know. They know that Yellen, as I said, she's not coming from, she represents something else that the Chinese do not want to obey. They don't want to obey. Why should they? They're strong enough. And they know that if they do this, unfortunately, the United States will be like, you can eat your money and you can use your money for medication and all that, since you're not going to have anything if the Chinese say, okay, bye-bye, a month, we don't exist for you. See what's going to happen here with all these courageous people with the toilet paper. Remember when it was that toilet paper scare? It was not because there was no toilet paper, but because you had a lot of courageous fellow Americans who went and bought a garage full of toilet paper. I know for a fact, a few guys. And I said, you buy this and other people don't have it. All right, that means that if someone will have some big guns and visit you and you call the police and the police will going to say, what are you going to say about it? All right, anyway, that's a different story. So remember, if the Chinese are going to not send some antibiotics here for a month, like I think it was a shortage of powder milk or something like this, baby formula from China. They were all desperate that they have to, like they used to in the old days. And oh my God, that's gross. We need a bottle. Things change. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.